Good Thursday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Thursday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Thursday evening going into your future. We do have some stuff we're going to talk about tonight. Obviously, we will be talking about the continued cloud cover that will continue over the state and what that means, as obviously we've had cloud cover over the state, at least mostly cloudy for a pretty good amount of time at this point. Also, we are going to talk about still that flash flooding potential as we continue through, and then also the tropics, and then how it will also warm up once we get into later this week. But that and later this week, early next week. But that's pretty much all that I have to say there. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you're going to do so. Hit the share button as well. Share it with all the people that you know. I am currently right now getting some very low frame rate, so this is not going to interrupt anything on the recording, but it will interrupt some things right now in the live stream. I'm not quite sure why the frames are so low on the YouTube live stream, but we're just gonna have to deal with that. Nothing I can do about that right now, as we've already started. So we're just gonna have to deal with the stream being like that. Hopefully once I clear some more stuff up, but it looks good right now, so let's go ahead and continue this through. Looking at our radar right now, we do have some isolated shower activity going on over here inside of the PD region, but if we go in and scroll our way out, see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., we do have some rainfall going on inside of Montana, as well as North Dakota going on into Colorado and like that Four Corners region area. As we go into even like Missouri, going over down into Louisiana, down into Texas, same thing with Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, we're seeing a lot of rainfall storms going on down there. Also inside the Northeast, we have some rainfall going on over there. Now for cloud cover, obviously that cloud cover is exactly what we think. We have low clouds going on right now inside of the Southern Midlands as well as the PD and the upstate. Again, that is not really too much of a shocker there. Just not too much of a shocker there. And if we go to our cloud cover for the future, you can see that cloud cover will continue to be relentless and will continue to bring all of that cloud cover as we move into tomorrow. This is 7 o'clock in the morning right here when we have our morning forecast update come out. Cloud cover is still seeming possible throughout the entire state. Yes, you do have some clear skies that may take over like the coastal region just a little bit, but overall for the most part, it's just looking like that cloud cover is taking over. Now once we get into the afternoon going into the evening, that cloud cover will actually start to kind of roll back a little bit. It will roll back a little bit. Yes, there still will be some cloud cover inside of these areas, like a 30% chance, 29% of cloud cover in that area for the most part. So I would say for sure that it's not going to be, just nice and clear or anything like that as we go into tomorrow afternoon and evening, even though it's definitely a reduction. Going into current temperatures right now, 72 in Columbia as well as 73 in Orangeburg, 76 in Somerville as well as 76 in Georgetown, 76 in Myrtle Beach, 74 in Conway as well as 71 in Rock Hill, 71 in Spartanburg, 72 in Greenville, 73 in Clemson as well as 72 in Greenwood, 73 also over there inside of Aiken, and then even 79 down here inside of Charleston, 78 in Beaufort. For our low temperatures for tonight, 67 in Greenville, 67 in Spartanburg as well as 66 in Lawrence, 67 in Greenwood as well as 68 in Aiken, 69 in Barnwell as well as Orangeburg, 69 also inside of Walterboro, 73 in Charleston and 74 in Hilton Head Island, 69 in Georgetown and 72 in Myrtle Beach. Now for our rainfall, obviously, we do have some rainfall that's possible that goes all the way from the upstate all the way down towards the coastal regions. All the way from a 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch is possible. As we move in to like Greenwood, going into Newbury, going into Barnwell, as well as Walterboro, Hilton Head Islands included, Moncks Corners included, Kingstree is included, Florence is included, and then 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch that goes as well for some other regions. And then also quarter of an inch to a half an inch that goes in from Myrtle Beach over down into Charleston and possibly some other regions that are not included on the map that's highlighted. And then a half an inch to an inch that goes from Georgetown all the way up to maybe even an inch and a half isolated. Now for our SPC outlook, this is what the SPC outlook was for tonight. You can see that we do have thunderstorm activity that's possible up there in the far upstate as well as into the coastal thunderstorm region down there from Hilton Island all the way up into Myrtle Beach, even up into Florence as well, into parts of the eastern inland low country as we continue through. Now, if I can go on real quick and check and see if there is indeed an update with that, which right now it seems like that no, there is no new update. Tomorrow, pretty much the same thing. Upstate has there a little bit of rain, a little bit of thunderstorm activity that's possible over there, and then also thunderstorm activity that's possible that goes all the way from like Columbia to the eastern regions through Florence, through Myrtle Beach, through Charleston, through Hilton Island, through all that low country area right there. Thunderstorm activity is possible there. And then as you go through day 3, the entire state of South Carolina has a chance for a thunderstorm as you move into Saturday. So you got to watch for these thunderstorms as they move their way through. Now for excessive rainfall, yes, we do have a chance for some excessive rainfall as well starting off tonight. Isolated flash flooding is a concern from Hilton Island through most of the low country, the coastal regions. Everybody on the coast has a chance going into Myrtle Beach and Conway and Loris as well. And that goes from tonight going into tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Now, if you go into Thursday, or I apologize, Friday morning going into Saturday morning, you do have another marginal risk of excessive rainfall. That again goes through the low country, goes through the Conway, Myrtle Beach region as well. And that's what it's mainly looking like for our excessive rainfall there. Day 3, again, just goes down there into like the low country of South Carolina where there is indeed another minor risk of flooding, isolated flash flooding. And then going into day 4, expand a little bit more into the Midlands. That goes all the way from Western Columbia through Aiken, Orangeburg. And again, that low country again is included just day after day after day with isolated flash flooding for Sunday going into Monday. And then finally we get a break on Monday going into Tuesday. So one thing that I will say is that flash flooding is for sure on the table, especially if there's any region that is for sure going to be under the gun. It's going to be the low country as they just keep on getting that rainfall. One thing that I did notice is when I move my maps, that's what makes my frames kind of drop. So I'm going to have to avoid moving that. But I think I should be able to move this and it should be fine. But here it is right here for our models for the future, starting off here at 9 o'clock p.m. As we go in and push this forward, you see that isolated shower activity will continue just as we move our way even into like the 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. hours. And it will keep on going by around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. isolated shower activity going into like the late morning hours as well tomorrow. And once you get to the afternoon, things kind of dry off a little bit. But if we continue off even further into the future, yes, there still will be some shower and thunderstorm activity, especially like we said in that low country region to where we have that isolated risk of some flash flooding. And that rainfall and thunderstorm activity will continue in like the southern Midlands and the PD and the Grand Strand all the way through to around maybe even as late as 12 a.m. on August the 9th. And then you see some more isolated shower activity in the upstate by the time you get to around 4, 5, 6 a.m. The low country still will continue getting that rainfall to around 2, 3 a.m. on August the 9th. And then once you get to around 9, 10, 11 a.m. on Saturday, things look a lot drier, just in general, even into the afternoon on 2 o'clock p.m. on August the 9th. Now for our future. Starting off here at 2 o'clock p.m., this is just where we ended off, and this is a lower resolution model. If we push this forward, you can see that overall a lot of moisture will come through the state once we get through August the 9th and August the 10th, which is probably why we have a little bit more of a larger risk of some flash flooding as we continue through. But it doesn't take over the entire state. We saw the risk earlier. It didn't take over the entire state. It was just like a little portion of it. And you can see overall that this just shows some regular rainfall and thunderstorm activity. Now, maybe we can see a little bit of an uptick as we get maybe into like August the 18th, the 19th, the 20th. And once we get to around August the 20th, we really can't say anything else. We can only really just look at patterns because it's just going to be too far. And before freak out and see what's going on at the bottom right side of your screen, because you're going to see it as we go on and push this way forward. That is not a forecast. That is more than 10 days out, way more than 10 days out, like 15, 16 days out. So this is not a forecast. This is just something that the models show, and that's just there for a placeholder that they think will happen, but it most likely will not. But that, just will move inland if that was to occur. But again, we're over 300 hours out, so this is just here just to be here at this point. We'll continue to watch that though, and that's one of the second waves that's coming off of the coast of Africa, which we can go on and look at that real quick. You probably don't care really to see the hours. Turn that off real quick. But you can see obviously the first wave as it moves its way. If we can go and get it to load real quick, maybe. But you can see overall that it kind of originates more and more from that second wave. That first wave that we saw is all the way up here to our north. So obviously, there's nothing really a whole lot that happened with that, as you didn't even see that one at all. That one was just completely out into oblivion, pretty much. So that one, in my opinion, just if we go in and push this forward, it kind of just goes up and doesn't even impact us as much. And that's the area that was in the orange, if you remember, from the tropics, from the tropical weather page. This orange area right here is the one that just went off to the north. So honestly, I'm thinking that both of these areas that we're seeing right here might not really impact South Carolina too much. But going back, this one right here, this is the second wave that comes right after the one in the orange. And that one we will have to watch for as well. And I think a lot more people are actually concerned about this one than the other one. But again, the other one was also saying it as well, that it would kind of go up towards the U.S., but it ended up going more north. So that's why I'm saying we only can just really tell once we get closer. And then, there's another wave coming off right after it as well. So all of these we're just going to have to watch as multiple waves come off more and more and more. And this is kind of just an active period to where we're just seeing more and more waves come off each and every time. Or each and every time, like every week or so. As that one came off at around like August the 8th, which would be tomorrow. And then the next one came off right here, which is around like August the 15th-ish. And that one didn't really do anything though. But that's around like a week, like I said. That's it for the models though. Let's go on now and talk about the tropics. I mean, speaking of the tropics, one thing that I will say is that we still do have this yellow risk over here that we're watching for, disturbance 1 off the southeastern United States coast. You can see that it says a non-tropical area of low pressure is expected to form in a day or so, a few hundred miles offshore of North Carolina. Some tropical or subtropical development is possible this weekend while the system moves northeastward over the warm waters of the Gulf Stream. By early next week, the low is expected to reach colder water and an area of strong upper-level winds, ending its chances for tropical or subtropical development. So this one right here is going to pretty much die off. It has a 10% chance over the next 48 hours to turn into a tropical depression, which is low, and then a 20% chance of forming into a tropical depression over the next 7 days, which again is low. So this most likely will not do anything too bad. The orange one, which is the one that we were watching for, but kind of just died. Well, didn't really die, but it kind of went away from the U.S. as west, more east than some models were showing. A tropical wave over the central tropical Atlantic continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorm activity. Development of the system appears unlikely during the next day or two, but environmental conditions are forecast to become more conducive in the next few days. A tropical depression could form late this weekend or early next week while the system moves west-northwest to northwestward across the central tropical and subtropical Atlantic. So there is a 10% chance of this thing forming over the next 48 hours and a 60% chance of this thing forming over the next 7 days. So for now, like it said, not really going to form over the next 48 hours. It's low, 10%. But there's a medium chance, or kind of like the getting kind of into that likely chance for it to form over the next 7 days, though, as it moves its way more again to the north and west and to the north-northwest, as it probably will not impact South Carolina at all. So that's it for these two. And I'm going to go on real quick before we go on and talk about the drought. The crazy score, we're at a 28. We are at a 28. I'm going to go on and put inside the poll right now. I'm just going to go on and say drought predictions for the people on the live real quick. You can go on and vote. You can either say drought continued. You can say drought is gone, but abnormally dry stays pretty large. And then, or you can say the drought is gone, but the abnormally dry is indeed, but the abnormally dry lessened. And then finally, you can say you think that the abnormally dry is gone and drought is gone as well. So the poll just got put inside the chat. If you want to go on and vote inside of that, you have about 2 or 3 minutes, probably less than that, to vote. So please go on and vote now if you have not already, because we're about to show the drought in just a second. But the crazy score, we are at a 28. We are at a 28 inside of the mild category. Inside the mild category, slightly breezy or cloudy, but no major concerns, mainly just cloudy. And obviously, there's not a lot of rainfall. Yes, isolated shower activity is possible, but it's nothing really severe is going on with it. No major concerns, honestly, I should say. So let's go on now. While everyone's voting for the drought, let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. See what the audience has to say for tonight. Unfortunately, I cannot see Mr. Chris's top comment because of the poll, but it says, good evening from Monk's Corner. Very cloudy. See, I think it says, good evening from Monk's Corner. Very cloudy and starting to get cool, but no rain. Thank you first off for that forecast update for your location, and then good evening to you. He also says, please remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't. It helps the channel grow and others that need this information. That is true. That is true. If you have not hit the like button or subscribe button yet, make sure you go and do so. We've had 26 people tune in. I have no idea why we only have 6 likes. 20 people tuned in and did not hit the like button at all. They just came on, clicked on it, and then just left. I don't know what's going on there. But go on and hit the like button. We should at least have like 20 likes at this point. My Nana says, hello Jay, hope your day was good. I had a fairly nice day. That's fantastic to hear. Hello to you. Thad says, good evening, Jess. I trust your day went well. It was a bit warm here in San Antonio. Hopefully there will be some relief in the temperature or some rain. I believe you do have a chance. We're going to talk about that when we talk about San Antonio. My aunt Shirley says, good evening, pray all is well. All is well. Good evening to you. Lots of rain and flooding in Raleigh yesterday and today. I did, in fact, see that 5+ inches of rainfall, I believe, on the western side. I think it was just outside of Raleigh. But, I mean, obviously, Raleigh did probably get some flooding. But I believe just outside of Raleigh to your west, you did have a lot, like 5+ inches of rainfall over there. Ethan said, what do you mean by the stream froze earlier? The stream was having some difficulties, but I just realized I can't really move anything. I just kind of have to just keep it to where it is a little bit, because for some reason it drops my frames. I don't know why it does that, but I figured it out, so we're all good for now. Thad says, hopefully you guys will be so kind as to bottle up some of that rain you're getting and send it to me. I'll pay for shipping. Unfortunately, if I could, send over some rainfall, I would. But the fun fact about it is that we haven't gotten any rainfall, at least at my house. For let me see, we haven't gotten any rain today. We didn't get any rain today. We didn't get any rain yesterday. We didn't get, or yes, we did. We got rain on the 5th. So on Tuesday, we got an inch and 12 hundredths of an inch of rainfall. So if the rain came earlier, maybe possibly, but obviously we haven't gotten any rain in the past 2 days at my house, so I don't have any to send you. That's unfortunate. Trail says, greetings everyone, greetings to you, and I will mail you some rain tomorrow. Well, there you go. You got somebody that can hopefully send you some rain tomorrow. He says, happy Thursday to you. And then Trail also says, lovely cloudy day here. I enjoyed my ride to my hair appointment. That is fantastic. Glad it was a great day for you. Mr. Gris says, I think the drought is extended. We'll go in and check. We'll check in about 30 seconds. And then Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. So let's go on and talk about the drought. Starting off with the poll, 40% says that they believe that the drought has continued. 20% thinks that the drought is gone, but it's just abnormally dry is left. 20% thinks that the drought is gone and the abnormally dry has gone down. And then 20% thinks that the abnormally dry is gone and the drought is gone. So we'll go on and check that in about 10 seconds as I get my applause ready for the people who got it correct. Let me see. Here we go. Right here. It is up. And the people that were correct tonight for the drought predictions was the people that said that the drought was gone and the abnormally dry has gone down. Congratulations. Not to brag or anything, but I was obviously one of those people as well. I said it yesterday. But congratulations to me. And then who the other 20% that shows that the abnormally dry went down and the drought is gone. As the drought again, like I said, is gone, but abnormally dry stay over here for like Chester County going into Fairfield, Union, Southern Spartanburg going into Northern Lawrence, Anderson, Abbeville, as well as included in there. But other than that, everyone else is inside the none category. Not a drought ongoing throughout the state, and there is indeed no abnormally dry for the majority of us. So we're all good right now. We are all good for rainfall right now. So let's go on and talk about our 5 locations outside of South Carolina, that being San Antonio, Raleigh, Philadelphia, and Duncan, Oklahoma. Why do we talk about those 5 locations? Well, because 4 of them, we have people who actually lived there. 4 of the people that we do the forecast for lived there, and then 1 was just a little temporary forecast for now. Starting off with San Antonio first, with low temperatures tonight 77, high temperatures tomorrow at 101, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 76. No precipitation is expected at all tonight or tomorrow. And in terms of excessive rainfall, you indeed have no threat for any sort of excessive rainfall as you move through tonight, or just the next 5 days in general. No severe weather is expected either, so you're good for there as well. Now for Raleigh, with low temperatures tonight 68, high temperatures tomorrow at 81, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 68. Slight chance of showers tonight, and then a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and tomorrow night as well. There is indeed no threat for any sort of severe weather. And then in terms of excessive rainfall, there is indeed no threat for any sort of excessive rainfall. And while we're here, we might as well go on and talk about Charlotte, North Carolina as well, which is the third location that we're going to talk about, that with low temperatures tonight 66, high temperatures tomorrow at 80, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 67. Slight chance of showers tonight. No precipitation is expected tomorrow. And then if we go on and look at excessive rainfall as well, same thing as Raleigh. No excessive rainfall there, and no severe weather at all. For Philadelphia now, the third or fourth location, excuse me, with low temperatures tonight at 63, high temperatures tomorrow at 83, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 61. No precipitation is expected at this time. And then if you go into excessive rainfall, no excessive rainfall is expected. No severe weather is expected at all. And then the last location being Duncan, Oklahoma, with low temperatures tonight 76, high temperatures tomorrow at 101, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 77. No precipitation is expected at all tonight or tomorrow. And then in terms of excessive rainfall, no excessive rainfall is expected, and no severe weather is expected. So what's going on throughout the entire U.S. in terms of weather news-wise? For now, Tropical Storm Podol, I'm going to assume that's how you pronounce that, will bring heavy rainfall and gusty winds to these places. I have no idea how in the world you say them. It's in the northern Marina Islands through Saturday. Severe thunderstorm may produce a few tornadoes, large hail, severe winds, and heavy rainfall across the northern plains through the night. And the threat will shift to the upper Midwest on Friday. Hot temperatures and fire weather conditions will continue in the west, as well as in the central U.S. with heat advisories out from Texas all the way up into Illinois, while the east, where we are, stays relatively seasonable and just not too hot. And I believe that is all that we have in terms of that. I mean, yes, we do have some more stuff going on in the tropics. Like, for example, we have Henriette out there, and then I believe it's Ivo that is out there right now, but they're not really doing anything too much right now. I believe that Tropical Storm Ivo will turn to a hurricane and will actually kind of make its way over towards some islands, and so they will have to definitely watch for that. But that is it there. Let's go on and see if we have any sort of pictures, which we do. We have one from Thad tonight, which this is his picture right here again of his thermometer. Shows it past 100 degrees out there, all the way to around 103, 104-ish as well. And then you can see the humidity is actually down, so it's around like 30%-ish. So thank you so much for the picture, again, over there from Thad. If you want to go on and send those pictures in, you can by sending them to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is scweather360@gmail.com. Let me see if we have anybody else inside the chat. Mr. Chris says congratulations. Thank you so much for that. And that's all that we really have. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you go and do so, and hit the share button as well. Please share it with all the people that you know. We're at 560 subscribers, which, hold on, let's give a round of applause for that. $560 subscribers. We are 40 subscribers away from that main goal of 600. 40 away from that main goal of 600, and we are 15 away from 575, so we're really close to 575. We can get there as early as next week, but you have to share it with all the people that you know. And even if you go in the grocery store, you know, I wouldn't mind if you just went in the grocery store real quick and say, hey, there's this teenager out here that's doing this weather stuff. It's pretty good, pretty accurate, at least to whatever your discretion is. And then, you know, just if you're out shopping, just go on and share it out a little bit. I would not mind that at all. But again, that's just a thought. I will be back tomorrow morning with your Friday morning forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Thursday.